Hey guys, and welcome to Series 2 of XCom, The Enemy Within. It is Matt from Armstrong Gaming here, and we are having a look at a different take on this game. It's different from my normal one where we did the actual playthrough and focused on the actual combat. This is going to focus more on troop development, statistical analysis, and a few other things that could be considered boring. Alright, so we're just in the second wave, advanced gameplay options. I've beaten the game on one of my other save files, so I've managed to open up a lot more options. Typically the ones we're going to be looking at is not created equally and hidden potential. Last time I also took training roulette, which allowed there to be a bit of a difference between what the individual groups classes got every time they ranked up in terms of like corporal, colonel, squatty, and all that sort of stuff. Every time they went up in one of those ranks, they gained one or two new options for their ability, of which you chose one. So we're taking training roulette out. So as you can see, it does a whole bunch of loot. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff like red fog, which is kind of cool. As you can read what it says there, wounds degrade their abilities. We're not going to go with that. We might do a tougher one for Series 3 with red fog, but for the moment we're going to go without it. So I've done new economy because I want to see a little bit of randomness to the game. The money doesn't really affect my decisions too much. It affects it enough though. So the ones we're going to be focusing on for this playthrough, we're going to use absolutely critical, marathon, and aim angles. Marathon just extends the length of the game. I want this to be a nice long series because we're going to focus a lot on the troop maneuverabilities and their leveling and their aim, so marathon on would be a good idea at this point. So as I keep saying and I keep going back to, not created equally is a huge thing. I've been looking into the statistics from the Wikipedia and the XCompedia stuff, having a look at the way basically the troops are played. So in not created equally, when you've got that unticked, when you don't have that option, all your rookies start with 65 in aim. Now that's not bad. With not created equally, you extend that range from, I believe, 50 all the way up to 80 is the maximum you can get. So if they do happen to get an 80, and we're going to be focusing on the ones that get close to an 80, we're effectively increasing our ability to hit by up to 15%. That is huge. That is just phenomenal, and you'll see it in one of the highlight reels a bit later on. I do an almost across the park shotgun shot that has like no opportunity to hit, and the soldier who should have had something like a 20% chance to hit, but because he's so good with his because he's not created equally, he is just phenomenal and got that shot. He should not have made it. You'll see it, and I'll talk it up a bit later on. So we're going to be going with not created equally because we have the potential to get ridiculously good starting rookies. And I'm sort of putting up the idea on what I want. I would like a heavy that has greater to or equal to a 75 out of a possible 80. We would like a sniper, assault, or a supporting character to all have a 77 or above. I might drop the assaults down to a 75 a bit later on. Okay, there's a few reasons for this. I'm going to talk about the heavy because heavy is considered, besides the mech, to have the worst aim in the game. When you are looking at not having those two options on, not created equally and hidden potential, a heavy unit tops out at 75 aim. Automatically we beat that because we're taking candidates that have a 75 or greater. Automatically we've got the maximum aim as a starting rookie compared to a colonel in a different game. Just let that sink in. Already better than a colonel. That's what we're talking about here. The potential. Yes, we're going to get a lot of guys who just suck, who are going to have low 50s, maybe even 45s in aim. They're going to be terrible, and we're going to get a couple of low willpowers. We're going to forget the willpower. We can fix that a bit with iron will, and also give them other bits and pieces later on. We'll get to that later on, but for the meantime, we're just focusing on aim because we want to be able to kill things good. Okay, so with the hidden potential, instead of them getting their stat increases, which in some cases I've got it written down somewhere, at least I thought I did. No, apparently I don't have it written down. Oh yes I do. A heavy gets between 0 to 2 aim every level. So a level is every time they rank up. So what we're talking about is there's 7 ranks. He has the possibility of getting between 0 and 14 more in aim. He already starting at a 75, he's already got better than the previous colonel. He has the ability to get 14% shots better. 14%. That's better than using some of your, that's like an effective scope. That's like your reactive shot eyes, the hyperactive pupils, I believe they're called. That's what we're talking about. That's a big difference. Now, I'm going to get away from the heavy because the heavy is pretty much the selling point for this, but I'm going to talk about the other ones as well. So I'm going to go down the list with the best through the worst. So we're going to start with the sniper. The sniper has an average, has a range of 3 to 9 aim every time they level up. So that's theoretically an average of 6 every level. Over 7 levels, that's 42 in aim. That's 42%. If they've got our minimum, which is a 77, they have the potential of getting up to a 99, and that is only 6 off what you would get with a fully outdecked colonel in the normal playthrough, and that's just with the averages. So there is a possibility that they could extend out with getting 9 at every level, which would total out to be 63, which would get them my maths out to 140. A possibility of 140. Ridiculous. Support with a range of 2 to 6 has an average of 4, so a possibility of 28. We can get them out to 105 with the average. 105 average. That is the same as a Colonel Sniper. Yep. They can max out at 122 if you start with an 80. The Assault, which typically have a 90, an 89, the typical for support is 90, has the possibility of, with averages of 3, with its range of 1 to 5, has the possibility of getting up to 101, which is only 4% lower than a Colonel Sniper. We're talking about phenomenal shooting, guys. Alright, so I've already skipped ahead while doing all this because I'm recording this section after filming because of a slight technical error. I'm picking up Asia this time because I want to have the ability to have all my Foundry stuff and all my officer schools, mainly the officer school stuff, a lot cheaper. Alright, so that's the main reason I did that, because it has all the squad size and everything like that I want in it. So we're going to just watch a little bit of the highlights and the first couple of turns of this map. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so we're having a look here at the first of the highlights for this episode 1. We're just going to be doing the clips of the kills that occur. So you can see that Alien's already on 1 hit point, so he dies pretty easily. So literally I'm just going to show you some of the kills and sometimes what leads up to an important kill. So you can see this guy's on 1 hit point. not so much of an important kill, but it'll pay dividends later what's actually going on in the scene. So we throw a grenade in, that opens up a hole in that wall, and then we'll cut to fighting that alien, another alien through that hole in the wall, and he's on 3 hit points, that's all he got. I sent both my girls in to shoot. They both missed because they've got poor hit. My dude here's got a pretty high score in aim, but I don't know this at this point in the game, so lob in a grenade and just take him out. So that's pretty much the first mission. I did that while trying to do a whole bunch of voice in the first place, which went sideways. And literally was just talking through the whole mission and not even focusing on what I was doing. The first couple of missions are literally a joke. Use them to level up as much of you guys as possible. I tend to go real hard and try and promote my guys up the chain of command really quickly by giving 1 or 2 people lots of kills. Alright, so you can see here that Baliori, that's a really hard name for me to say, I apologize. Kumba and White have all leveled up to support, sniper and heavy. Alright, so I mentioned earlier that we're requiring at least 75s and 77s depending on classes. And you might not notice it, but you can notice it here. And with the first guy that we looked at, he had an 80, and this girl Amy White has an 81. In our starting 4, we have 2 that fit the parameters. I didn't mention the actual statistics that I did. I did over 200 recruits just in a little bit of a trial run on my other save file. It estimated that at squaddy level, not rookie level, squaddy level, so they've already had 1 rank up. So they've already gotten some benefits from their aim from their rank. I was looking at 80s and above. And it was on average at about 10% of the time. I actually noticed statistically in small doses that there was a decline in the amount that were gifted in terms of the aim score the more that I recruited. So if I recruited a batch of 60 for example, and I'd expected to have at least seen 6 to 7 that were in that range, and I picked up 5. While not statistically significant, it is a I wonder if that was an oddity. Whereas other ones when I recruited 30, I saw 4 and 5, and it was just like, well, do I do them in smaller batches because it's worked out really well in the past, or do I want me doing big batches? And was this a one-off thing? So that was just something I noticed and something I thought I'd put onto you guys in case you are doing the big batches like the 60s and 70s to try and do this recruit. So we're going through here and I'm just talking through over all this, and I should probably be talking about it. So we managed to find a couple of guys, White, King, Alexei Chevnurov, and Belioi, who all have 80s, and Hudson, who ends up being a sniper with a 75. Now I wanted the snipers to have at least a 77, so she's 2 out. I was kind of hoping that with levels up she would get better. I already know the result of that, and I'm not gonna spoil it now. It'll come a bit later in this episode how well she develops. So I'm just having another look at some of them to give you an idea. Rookies, I wanted 75s and above. Like for example, Hudson, if she becomes a heavy, would be acceptable. But if she was to become any of the other classes, which is more than likely, wouldn't be as acceptable. And this sniper here, Kumba, who's got a 72, while, don't get me wrong, he's still 7 accuracy scores better than a normal recruit. He's not up to this elite class that I'm trying to breed into the game. So he's going to sit out. So out of the 12, we picked up 4 who were exceptional, 1 who was a cusp, which is phenomenal. Like out of that 12, I would have expected 1 to maybe 2. So I'm incredibly happy with what has actually happened, and I wish I had the audio recording from when I did it, because I was ecstatic. Like literally I was sitting there going, I can't believe this is ridiculous. I couldn't have planned for a better... I couldn't have scripted this better. Alright, so one of the suggestions that I've been reading, a lot of the strategy guides for XCom, suggests that you build a satellite straight off the bat and get a satellite uplink ASAP. So one of the things we're going to do is when we hit the abduction site is to ignore everything and go straight for the engineers. Excuse me, we're going to have some water.
Abductions in progress are marked on the hologlobe.
So these engineers will help us be able to build things faster, and that's kind of what we're gaming for at this point in the game. We need 10 engineers to be able to build our next satellite uplink, and we currently have 5. So these 4 will give us to 9, and if we pick up 1 at the end of the month through satellite coverage councilman, that would be beneficial. So what have I done? Alright, so we're gonna put in our elite guys because I want them all to get to squaddy rank, so that way I can work out what they are, especially Hodson. I'm keeping her into the group so that way we can keep an eye on her. 75. We got one there who's injured. We can't bring him along. So we've brought White King, Alexei and Hudson, and they will be our standard group until Belyoy comes back. I'm just going to call him Bell. Ball, sorry. So we cut into the highlights. I hope you guys are enjoying the highlights. Give me some feedback on that. That's really important to me. Because the highlights and the combat is not the biggest part of this game, which sounds kind of intuitive to what the actual game is. We're focusing more on what the squad can do. And early on, the highlights are going to be... Of course, I'm looking for aim, and if you're not seeing the full combat, you're not actually seeing how good they are. I respect that, I see it. These early combats, you're not going to really witness it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing short, condensed highlights like this one, where you can see a natural flow where a lot of enemies die in a row. You can see how I use my elitist guys. Alright, so I'm going to stop talking in a second as Kingy here gets the last kills by using grenades. I use grenades early on because they're guaranteed kills for these guys, and also thin men. As long as you're not playing on your husband. Alright, done.
Mission accomplished.
Alright, so we're back from the highlight reel.
Work, Commander. Our soldiers have to be feeling good after a
Alright,
mission
so
like that.
out of that, Kingy has gone up to an assault, Lexi has gone up to a heavy, and Kari has popped into a sniper. She was 2 below the sniper rating. She was a 75. We were saying that we needed at least a 77. So let's have a look at her first and see. Ideally, I want her to have ranked up a fair bit. She went up 3. She went up 3. That's not good enough. She's gonna hang around, because don't get me wrong, 78 sniper is still ridiculously good. Alexei didn't go up, and that's okay. He's a heavy. We expect that. The fact that he's already at an 80 is more than what he would have been anyway previously before that. Alright, so Kingy went into a assault, and their average is a 3. He went up by 2. That's not too bad. We can work with that. Nobody panic. Alright, so that's the sort of way that we're going to be looking at how we deal with all of our levels, aim, and all of that jazz. I'm going to be holding off on meld.
We will be in touch, Commander.
Like, I'm not even going to start researching it straight away. I probably should have started researching a while back.
By awarding them medals for accomplishments you deem appropriate. You can view and award
man, everything's slow because I've got no scientists. Like, that's what you can expect, unfortunately. Alien materials. Yeah, let's do alien materials. Doesn't really matter. They're all pretty slow until I launch a satellite. So you automatically start with one in orbit over one of the countries in the continent that you belong to. and then
Every member
you
of the
get
council
one
is
more
going
to
to want
spend,
satellite
and you
coverage.
typically want
So
to
we should
spend it
plan
in
our
one of the two
deployments
places you
carefully.
didn't go. Well, Egypt does, sorry, not Egypt, Africa has the all-in bonus, which is going to be crucial in our troop turnover, so to speak, especially early on, because that's when you want to be doing it as early as possible, but also not too early because you're going to get satellites up and going. Satellites are the most important thing. Engineer a month, which is not bad. We've got two that are on 50 and one on 150, which is South Africa. Mexico is quite good. Oh man, all three above 100. That's pretty good. We're gonna pretty much ignore Brazil and Argentina, just because they don't have that sort of continent bonus that we're looking for. It's the easiest to get, and it's also not the best. United Kingdom, Russia, France, and Germany, all pretty good. China 50, Japan 50, India 110, Australia 70. Alright, so South Africa has to be the way to go. That'll also give us a scientist at the end of the month and an extra engineer, which will be good. And also give me 150 credits. Alright, first things first, let's move a ship over to Africa. Select, it'll be there in 3 days before the satellite is launched. There you go, there's proof. Satellite operational over South Africa, 4 days. Transfer to Africa, 3. It's done so that way you don't have a satellite coverage without a ship to defend it. Cool. Alright, so we've got 15 creds and we're 27 days from the council report. So the next suggestion I had made and read was during the grey market selling. Fortunately, we're too early in the game for that. Alright, so let's do some scanning. Let's get ahead. Request from Russia, we get 200 for it. We've got 20 days to do it. Satellite costs 200 and we're going to get 200 for it. There's no other bonus. I don't think that's worth it. So satellite's up.
Available over South Africa. Contact detected.
Alright, let's scramble some interceptors. Go Raven. Since it's the first one, it'll auto shoot it down.
We have eyes on the
So we don't need to really worry about it, which is good. We're going to be upgrading our interceptors soon, so that way they don't have any issues shooting down UFOs in the future, because we want to... There we go, with 0.9 of a second left, finally. Jesus. Talk about a bloody hoax. Alright. So we're going to send the Sky Ranger in. We're going to keep the same squad. 2 heavies. Actually, we lose Hudson? Clear. Who's our other guy? Our other guy is Baliori. He's still wounded for 5 days. Yeah, they're pretty much the creme de la creme that we have. Alright, so highlight reel coming up. Alright, so we are back again with the highlights. We doing a quick little bit here. You can see Amy White destroying her own cover, even though the radius is outside of the actual explosion. It still takes it out. Little unexpected. Like the last combat, I'm using a lot of grenades just to get me the kills because they're guaranteed. Guaranteed kills are the way to go in my opinion early on. And sort of how you make sure that those guys don't die in those first early crucial missions. There we go. Get the words out, Matt. Nicely done. Big explosion there. I'll go for the one that's closer just because I know I've got 2 more guys that can run in. Alright, so we get the outsider kill. And I think I might stall on capturing the outsider when that comes up. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch Series 1. It's a lot more in depth and you see a lot more of the combat. Do 1 full combat every video. Whereas this I'll do like 3 or 4 and they'll all be really short, condensed, bam, action, done. And they can be a little difficult to follow, I will admit that. He should not have made that shot. It was 38% chance. I've seen some 98% miss. He's just me using the rockets to my best ability. Yeah, anyway, coming out of the highlights now.
Excellent work.
Alright, so we're back from that
I'm
mission with
impressed you
no
were
level
able to
ups.
recover so
Not
much of the melt substance
unsurprising.
without any casualties.
They're doing pretty good. We're getting a few little complaints regarding use of explosives because it doesn't give us
you feel any soldiers merit an award.
as much corpses. And you can just see that now that we've got some of these things, just pawn them off. And you're probably looking at it going, you need flight computers, you need power sources. And I'm like, yes, I can stall the game at the later stages when money is no object. Just to hunt down UFOs to my heart's content to refill those stocks. But at this stage of the game, that's a satellite, guys.
We've been picking up
I
some
need
odd
that.
transmissions lately. Some nut calling himself Commander Straker has been all over the news ranting about shadow operatives.
Huh, I wonder if that's an X-Men reference. Straker, Commander Straker, who's the guy who started, well, basically the guy who did all the stuff that ended up making Wolverine. Weapon X projects. He was the guy who ran that in all the movies. So I wonder if it's all like that. Could be a little Easter egg there. I didn't notice it until now. Alright, so what am I going to do with that cash? Well, I've got a satellite coming in, but I haven't been able to do anything regarding it. I got a satellite something there, but I can't put it up because I haven't got enough engineers. I need to build a workshop. Adds 5 engineers to our staff. How many engineers? I'll get it right one time. There we go. I've got 9, so I need 1 engineer before I can put that satellite up. Situation room. Still 19 days. Satellite makes 20. Satellite takes 20 days to build. Got a satellite I can build. How many can I post
Satellite
up?
uplink facilities
Oh,
at
I
maximum
need.
capacity.
Yeah.
Additional
Sorry for
uplink
stalling,
required.
guys. I need to do that way. I don't want to waste that creds doing that. Build facilities. Let's just have a look at how much it costs. It costs 260. We're a little shy. We've got 5 days to earn that money. Otherwise, I'll have to go back to the grey room, grey market. Alright, so let's scan for activity. And hopefully we can get a little bit here. Incoming council communicator. If it's Newfoundland, I'm not doing it. Bomb disposal. I've had a lot of people say that bomb disposal is really, really difficult. I don't know if it's my playstyle. I've never had a problem with it before. We're just swapping off our sniper and putting in our other guy with 80. Yeah, we kind of don't want to suffer any losses of life. Alright, we'll be back with some highlights. Yeah, so losses of life would actually be really detrimental to my team at this point because I'm running such an elitist group. If one of them was to die, that it'd pretty much be over for me. We're fighting against Thin Men. Thin Men, according to all the Wikipedias and so forth, have some of the best aim, which is really annoying. So when you start getting up to them really early on, if you're doing like me, you're doing a elitist jerk sort of scenario, keep you guys back, keep them clustered, but not on top of each other because they technically have a spit attack which can poison them. And so here's King taking another ridiculous shotgun shot. So his move forces him to move. Shooting with a 59%, like that's not bad. When you consider it's 15% more than what a normal shotgun user would have. So it'd be what, 44% chance? And it's rocking like a 73% there. The team's just rocking high percentage shots, like from a distance, which is kind of what you want, which is why I created such an elitist group. Here's me using Overwatch to a broken little ability. I know where all the bad guys are going to be, so I put my guys in positions where they will shoot them and then be able to do the follow-up on him. I've got a good little 4-man group going. I'm going to try and rotate some of them out and rotate some sacrificial lambs in. just so that way I can have loss of life.
Score.
Alright,
Well done,
we should be
Strike
coming out of the
One.
highlights
I'm reading
now.
zeros on the bomb's energy signature.
Alright, so we're back. We almost lost Kingy in that one, which is not good. But even at some ridiculous range with like low percentage, he's still got a really good shotgun kill. So he's going to rest up. We're going to be without him for 8 days, which is going to put Hudson back in the mix of things. But we also got 151
Remember,
bits of
we
cash,
will
creds,
be
whatever you want to
watching.
call them, which will help us with our building. No. Build facilities. Now that we've got that open, we can build our workshop over here. And the excavated spot that I've just put up is going to be our foundry. And then once that's built, we're going to put some satellite complexes there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cancel that project. I know it's $10, but I could be a little shy on the grey market. There's an extra 25, I guess. 141. Yeah, we're probably not going to quite get there without another mission. Alright, so that should be more than enough for episode 1. It's a little hard to judge how long these episodes are going to be, and also what's going to be in them, just because the game has got a random generator for a lot of its events, so you can't really plan a lot of things through. So I showed you how to do the satellites, I showed you how to work the grey market early to get all your stuff done really quickly. The key to early game, satellite coverage. You've got to get that done early. We're putting in another element. We're going to be doing a lot of troop development and a lot of cutting guys in and out. And there's going to be special episodes just based around that. But for the moment, we've got our stock standard 5, which we're lucky to get out of our beginning 12. I would have been happy with 1 or 2. 5 is fantastic. 4 with actual 80s, 1 with a 75. Hudson's probably not going to be our predominant sniper. Don't get attached to her. She's going to be gone ASAP unless, by some miracle, she pulls 2 9s or 3 9s back to back when she's leveling up while we haven't got a replacement, and she turns out to be a ridiculous sniper. In that case, we'll keep her. But for the time being, she's on the out list. So we've got our main 4, and we're just waiting to see what the last guy will level up into. Alright, so this has been Matt from Armstrong Gaming. I hope you're enjoying this new take on this game and how we're going to evolve our players from here. We will see you next time for episode 2. Take care, guys, and as always, subscribe, like, leave comments. I love the feedback. Catch you next time. See you later.